Okay, I don't have my camera on me right now, but I'm going to show you through ASMR how to wind an AK high cap. I actually like load and wind it. There's a toilet lid on top. You pop it open. You know, just right in the front, little toilet lid. Pop it open, put your BBs in there, fill it to the brim, not all the way to the brim, because you're gonna have a little bit of trouble loading. And then to wind it, this is how you wind it. To get the BBs all the way to the top. Like this is how many winds you should do. You shouldn't really go any farther in this. Shit, I fucked this up. You're supposed to listen when I was talking over it. Got my G&G .25s in here. Right there, that's the maximum amount of winds. That'll give you a good like 50, 60 shots. Any more than that, and you'll start to damage your magazine. You wouldn't really want to do that. They aren't expensive, okay? They're very cheap, but spending money just for no reason is stupid. And I know that might seem ironic because like, you're playing airsoft, but it's the cheapest of all the sports that you can shoot people and stuff. You know, like paintball. The good paintball guns cost like $300. So if you plan on playing paintball for exactly 4 months, you need to spend $300. Literally any like $30-$40 airsoft gun lasts more than 4 months. And ammunition costs, filling up with gas. You don't do that with airsoft. EVs are cheap as fuck. And filling up with gas, you don't fill up with gas. It's a battery. Plug the thing into the wall. Now, I don't really recommend you get mid caps, as high caps just hold just shit tons of more ammo. You know, they're basically redundant. People like to do it like, oh, it's realistic. Well, if you want realism, stick some 30-round mags in there. When you're playing airsoft, it's not realistic. Plus, you have to deal with, mag changes and shit. Dude, I just wind a magazine. I just wind it. I bring 2 magazines. That's all I bring, 2 magazines. Most of the time, I just bring 1 and a bag of BBs. As I don't go to massive games where I'm just going. That's my perfect impression of an airsoft gun. That and seeing one of these high caps costs $8 to $12 for an AK, and that's like 500 to 600 rounds. You can get an RPK high cap, which is about 800 rounds. I don't recommend it. They're too unwieldy, in my opinion. But mid caps, this is how you load them. This guy has a bunch of .20s and .12s in like a little cardboard box. This is a 2011 video. This guy's not gonna find this and do shit. Yeah. That you just stick it in there, and you. Oh my god, this guy's video is awful. There's a little thing on the top. If you didn't know, you can guess how this thing works. Push this thing down, pull it back up, push it down, pull it back up. You can look at how it works inside. Okay, you'll figure out how to do it. It involves you pressing it up against the I don't know what that tube thing is called. This thing, I don't know what it's called. You press it up against there, and you whatchamacallit it. That and I don't recommend mid caps for another reason. AK mid caps suck ass. Okay, so you have to use something that isn't an AK to actually get a good mid cap. If you ever get a SEMA mid cap, like for AKs, they suck. They're awful. They can't load .25s. How does it not load .25s? That is the gold standard for BB weights. How the fuck does this shit not feed with it? It just doesn't. It doesn't feed with it at all. It doesn't feed with them. Doesn't feed with any .25s. Whether it be high quality, low quality, whatever. It feeds fine with 2.0s. Never tried 2.3s. I never bought 2.3s before. I just have 2.5s and 2.8s. And some 2.0s for my pistol, even though you should be using 2.3s. I don't even use my pistol, but if I were to, it'd be at really close range.
All right, so we have going on here before we get shooting, and I want to take a look at the sighting system here on the C39V2. We have graduations out to 800
You can guess what this is how to use this AK sights.
meters here, and a lot of people get confused about how this system works. This system here, before we even look at the graduations, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this up. And you can see here, if we can level the camera even with the plane of this thing, you guys can see how the graduation system, the notch works here. You get a flat spot, followed by a dip, followed by a gradual plane all the way up. And what this actually does is we flip this gun over, forget about the flat spot for a second, and that is the trajectory of a 7.62 by 39 round. Flip it back over, and flip this notch down. And what we have here, obviously your graduations in meters here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8 here. You move this point up to the notch, don't cover it, set it right there, and that's how you correct for range. Now,
you don't need to do this for airsoft. Basically, bullets, they don't go, they're not lasers. They go like this, like that, they go down. And basically, what's up with these AK sights is when you move this, the little, this little push thing forward, it moves the sights up. And what happens when you move the sights up? If you want to align the sight picture properly, you point your gun higher up. Okay, if you know how that works, like let's say you have your gun like this. You are trying to get the sights level with the front sights, right? The front sights. This is garbage. This is a garbage drawing. I know. You're trying to get these level, the front sights. This is level or whatever. So when you pull these things up, your gun is gonna tilt this way because you know this thing goes up, and the only way to make it go down is to make the whole thing go down. Okay, that's how real sights work. How you line them up is they're just pistol sights. If you don't know how to do that, you're too stupid to play airsoft. I'm sorry. I'm not going to teach you how to do this. I'm not going to teach you how to load an AK mag into an AK either. Because you'd be dumb if you don't know how to do that. Or just like someone's mom or something. Like someone's foreign mom barely speaks English. You hand it to her, he's like, "Oh no! What is this? He's real." And then he'd like cry or something. You found how you hold an AK? Right hand, the hand that you use, your dominant hand on the grip, okay? The grip on the rear pistol grip. This thing right here, that's his dominant hand, his right hand. That's what 99.9% of people have. Not 99.9%. It's like 98.4% or some shit. They have their right hand dominant, and then you put your left hand on the foregrip right here. This thing right here. See, he's got his hand right there. That's how you do it. You don't hold it by the magazine. You can if you want. You look stupid, and for real purposes, like for real AKs, it's got to be in the front. That's optimal because you're gonna burn your hand if you put it on the barrel. That's what happens if you know that. When you shoot a gun, the barrel gets really hot. Within 2 to 3 rounds, it's like boiling water temperature, like 150 degrees, depending on like a bunch of variables and stuff, like what's it made out of, the velocity of your round, or the weight of the round, or how big your round is, or how much powder is behind it, how short your barrel is, how long the barrel, whatever, that shit. For airsoft purposes, if you put your hand on the magazine, it creates a larger silhouette. So instead of someone just hitting your pointer finger because your hand is horizontal to them instead of vertical, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. Let's say he has his hand right here, like all of his fingers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 of his fingers, like this. Someone is shooting at him. He has only his hands and his head exposed. Maybe it's a bit of his shoulder. There is a fucking 1/3 chance. 1/3 chance of a BB hit him in the finger. That is not fun. You do not want that to happen. If you put your hands up here, there's probably a 1/10, 1/20th chance of it happening. And that's if you're dumb enough to stay in the same spot while someone's shooting at you. You know, you can't see the BBs coming right at you, and you're like, I'm not going to dodge this, I'm going to stay over here and shit. So, yeah. That and holding it by the hand grip is more accurate. And it doesn't get any more accurate as, I don't know why, I don't understand how or why, but It doesn't get any more accurate if you hold like the barrel over here on an airsoft gun. Plus, it looks dumb if you hold the barrel like that. It's just dumb. It's the wrong gun for that, man. Well, you would be an idiot. Go get an M4. Go get a piece of shit that breaks within 2 years of use. Not something that lasts like 20 years if you treat it properly. Go move to California where everyone is retarded. And I'm not saying this is a political statement. Like I genuinely I know for a fucking fact that people in California are as dumb as a box of rocks. That's just the way it is. It's a shithole over there. And airsoft players are pretty dumb on average, just as is. So not a good combination. There's a lot of speed softers in California. Google that term, or I could do that for you. What the I could have sworn this was an AK, but yeah, these are the speed softers. Fucking. These are. This is what someone. This is what if I'm having a stroke. This is if someone had an IQ below 90. They played airsoft. This is what they would do. Like this is what they would do. This is a $500 gun. As if you need that. Anything can do this kind of shit. Hell, my current setup costs like 150. Yeah, it's about $150. I got a $20 barrel in there, and the gun is $140. I did that's 150. I'm stupid. $140. 160. I'm really dumb. I'm sorry. Look, he doesn't have sights on his gun. I mean, not that you need it when you have that high of a fire rate, but whatever. This is actually pretty cool drawing, in my opinion. This looks like a total summary of what people think is cool in the year 2007. Like that is the full summary of it. Everything in this image. Also, with the AK high cap versus mid cap thing, you don't need plate carriers. Just do what this guy's doing. Even though what this guy's doing is probably wrong. This is probably for show. This is a mid cap right here. This is a mid cap. He needs more of these to run. Why you wouldn't want one of these is because it's hotter. Maybe you want to shed weight. I don't really care for that stuff. I'm not a person who loses weight. You don't need to lose weight. You can be overweight and athletic. It's not like it was fat pride. You just need to be athletic. The bottom line. You could be Fedor Emelianenko. Okay, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Have a little Bruce Lee body under that shit. You just want to be as effective as possible, and mid caps are not very effective. High caps are effective. Plus, the best high cap that I know of, I don't know if it's in stores yet, is a SEMA CM522 high cap. It's you know the metal AK mag, the 7.62 by 39. Let me show you, like the original one, the fucking 1947 made one. You know, the metal version of this. Basically, this thing holds 600 rounds, while the 545 mags hold 500 to 550. And it's aligned in a way that makes winding it pretty dang easy as well. Also, there's a method of winding that you can do. Basically, you're holding your gun, and you have your thumb and your index finger and your pinky on there, while you have your pointer on the winding wheel, and you could hold your gun and wind it and shoot it like while you're winding. Most people just go for cover while they do that. I say you should do that as well, because that's not really not as an effective method of shooting, but it works. If you're in a pinch, that works. Okay, AK, hop up. I'm gonna drink some water.
What's up, guys? Steve the Fan One here, and
You don't
This is
disassemble
video
it,
on how to
okay?
remove your hop-up and your
It's
inner
just
barrel from the...
this is good. Just gonna show you where it's at. Shit, it isn't gonna show you where it's at. It's probably gonna fiddle with it though. Yeah. Pull it forward for less hop. Like if you want your BB to like that's at maximum hop right there. If you want minimum hop, you pull it all the way forward. The sliding thing. Fuck. There it is. Let me get to the AK one. So no hop up. Oh my god.
We get a lot of questions about how to make your
These
airsoft
videos
gun
are so
smarter.
bad.
Most people think FPS is the answer, but it's very on the contrary. It's the hop-up that you'll want to adjust. I'll show you how here. The hop-up job is to put a backspin on the BB. No backspin, or only a little backspin, and the BB only travels a very short distance. Too much backspin, and the BB will go flying off. If you're using an M4 AR-15 style gun, then your hop-up will most likely be under this cover. Yours might look a little bit different than this one, but this is the most common type. If you turn the dial counterclockwise until it stops,
You don't
should
need
have no
one of these
hop-up.
things.
In other
If
words,
you have
there's no backspin on the BB.
if you have like fingers that work, you can use your fingers.
Now shoot the gun and take note of how far the BB flies. Not too far,
This
right?
dude's
Now
probably
turn the
like an
dial
ogre.
clockwise until it stops. This is full hop. Now shoot the gun and see what happens. The BBs kind of curve up at the end, don't they? That'll make it pretty hard to hit your target. Slowly turn the dial counterclockwise a quarter turn. Shoot it again. Better? Yeah, we're getting there. Keep adjusting the dial in small increments until the BBs have a very flat or straight flight pattern, as they seem to kind of float.
That is the proper method right here.
Straight flight pattern, as they seem
I like it when it goes up just a little bit,
until the BBs have a very flat.
like
Keep
this,
adjusting the dial in small increments until
but a bit less, quite a bit less. So you get that extra like 5 feet of
have a very
range.
flat or straight flight pattern, as they seem to kind of float through the air. You will need to make hop-up. You will find your
Here's
hop-up
the
here on
AK.
most AK type guns. As you can see here, AKs have a slider bar hop-up adjustment. Slide the bar towards the barrel for no hop, and move the slider towards the receivers for full hop. Keep
Now, if you want to know how this works, notice the little thing on the inside.
the bar towards the barrel for no hop.
So this thing little
Slider towards
it
the
goes
receivers
up.
for full hop.
Well, basically how a hop-up works is let me show you. I'm sorry. Okay, this is with the M4 one. It's backwards, kind of. There isn't really an example with an AK one, but basically this thing called a bucking right here. It's like a tube. It is a tube. It looks like this. This is the C clip, which is right here. These all look different. Okay, this is for an M4. And basically it's got a nub and it goes right there. This thing pushes down on it. So you pull this thing back. You push it back and it pushes that little thing down. Pull it forward, it relieves the pressure. It goes up. You know, it's not a lot. It is elastic because it's rubber. This is the opposite, but it uses wheels and shit.
Keep adjusting your hop-up like I did on the M4 until you get your BB to slide far and straight. Lastly, we have the G36.
I know, like over various hop up, like you're gonna have someone's gonna be in the comments and be like, oh, how do you adjust hop up and like have the right BB path? Well, I told you already. It's different for all sorts of guns, really. Like if you have different brands and shit. So there isn't like an optimal setup. I would have to grab every single person's gun and measure it with every BB weight of every BB brand, because they're all like they're all kind of inconsistent in weight. Like some .23s weigh more than other .23s. Like the brand, the actual label for it is .23, but they could be .225, and they'd have like a certain variance. Maybe they'd go up to like .24. Which, those are awful BBs. Don't ever buy those. If it does do that, don't buy those. That's shit. Or they go up to like .227. You know, it's a plus or minus .0 0.001 math. You do math. .001 variance, and it'll cost around .221 grams. Whatever.
Style. This utilizes a drum style hop-up adjustment. The hop-up unit is located.
G36.
You will want to follow all of the previous steps. Just know that rotating the drum upward increases.
It's always in the bolt. All the hop-ups are in the bolt. They just are. Like, that's where they place them. That's where they go. You gotta connect your Tamiya connectors. If you don't know how to do that, you're stupid. You put your battery where it's supposed to be, and then you connect the things, like the connectors. They look like you pee in a toilet. Imagine freezing the pee. That's what the color of them would be. And what you do is you put them together. You put the square one in the square hole. Okay, remember the square one in the square hole, and the circular one, the circular hole. That'll get you. That'll get you sometimes if you're stupid. Okay. And you gotta get your eye protection on. You gotta do it before every game. If you didn't know this, you'd be dumb not to do it. Um, I kind of regret informing you because um, I'm kind of preventing some Darwin Awards from happening. But you know, this. Let me show you why this thing kicks ass. Let me show you how to put this thing on. Bam. Fucking bam. It's tight. Look at that. If you're really getting into the meta of airsoft, though, I'd recommend getting some good shoes. The ones that I wear, which are pretty kick-ass, are Black Champion shoes. They're not called Black Champion. That'd be really funny. This is Champion. These are the ones that I bought. This is like cloth and shit. It's paper thin. You will get sand in your shoes. I do not. I wouldn't. I just said I recommended these. I'm stupid. Just get some shoes that are like not garbage and are cheap. I got mine for like $25 though. It was worth it. Because everything else was just, it was awful, man. It was fucking worst. If you can't like walk a mile, okay? If you can't walk a mile, if you can't walk 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, is there something wrong with your shoes, okay? Fat people, okay? Fat people with like cankles and shit, with like, I don't know, just fat people with cankles. They can walk miles. They can go forever. Like 600-pound people, they can fucking walk forever. They could walk from like the South Pole to the North Pole. I mean, they die in the process, but if they didn't have like weather problems or like they didn't have to bring food with them, they could do it. It's possible. It's not that hard. But it's because their shoes aren't the worst shoes ever. Please avoid every brand ever. Make sure your shoes have a bit of a padding, not padding. It's like this weird like cushion. It's a cushion. You have a cushion at the bottom of it. It's like marshmallows on this thing. It's kick-ass. I don't know, this one right here. It's probably good. These are probably the best ever. Other kinds of gear. If you're in really hot weather, guess what you need? Camelback. Not the actual brand Camelback. These things are hilariously expensive. Like that. That's not the real price for it. These are like $100 each. I guarantee you. 2.5 liters is absolutely nothing. Oh, that's actually cheap. Cool. I'd say you could just get a tube, stick it in a bag of water, but you're getting really into the sports hot? Bam, there you go. Make sure you get your camouflage correct though. You don't want to be an idiot. I almost forgot to say this, but if you gotta wear some shoes because it's like I just had a stroke. You gotta wear shoes that are not like open-toed because the foliage and forests is like the worst thing ever. Like you will be stepping on the weeds that have spikes on them all the time. You're gonna have hitchhikers. I don't mean like hitchhikers in the bug. Hitchhikers. It's actual like plant. They're everywhere, and you'll have it all over your clothes and shit. And you don't want that on your feet or something. I don't know why. That's not really a thing. I don't know, insects. There's like gonna be tons of twigs and shit everywhere. Sticks. You don't want to cut your feet up. You know, there's probably gonna be glass in some places. There's gonna be airsoft BBs everywhere, and it's gonna be dirty because it's dirt. You're gonna be playing in a forest, right? And if you're not, you don't want to get shot in the feet. That's not fun. That's definitely not fun. Who the fuck wants to get shot in the feet? Or stub your toe or anything like that? Who the fuck? You don't wear sandals to an airsoft game. Bottom line. Socks. Things that go up. You know? I mean, the optimal thing for you to do is just go to like some really retail store where they sell shit for cheap, and buy yourself some really cheap ass boots. I don't mean like garbage boots. I mean like the ones that the military uses. Whatever, standard. Issue military boots. These things. These are this color, but they come in all sorts of colors and camouflages and shit. These like fucking Reeboks. You get these for like $20, $25 if you're good at looking for shit. Yeah, it looks kick ass. Look at that. But yeah, for socks you gotta get some tube socks. Not the restricting kind, just some tube socks, man. For your pants, anything, just pants. It really depends. If you play CQB, you could just use shorts, but if you play in forest, you need pants. You just do. Your legs are they're gonna get hit by shit. Not just BBs. There's stuff everywhere. You don't want to run directly into a log with no pants, because you'll just be bleeding everywhere, and that wouldn't be fun. That, and there are mosquitoes everywhere. You need some mosquito repellent. If there's mosquitoes for your arms, do whatever the fuck you want, man. It is like, you got a shirt, just do whatever. It's whatever, man. I mean, I say the best cargo shorts you get, guess what? Cargo shorts, not shorts, pants. These things. I last time I checked, these things were like $7 each. Yeah, there we go. Used. I wouldn't recommend used, but you know, the actual website was selling them for like $8 each. Fuck. It's all from eBay. It's just used. Someone shit their pants in these or selling them off. That's pretty kick-ass. And you just get some shirt that matches or whatever. Gloves. If you play CQB, like close quarter shit, you're gonna need some good gloves, like mechanics gloves. Some of these things. I don't really recommend these. No, I just don't. You need paintball gloves. I think those are the ones, the paintball ones, where they're just completely armored. Because if you play CQB, you're gonna be shot from really close range, and that's not fun. This is what you want, right here. This is what you want for paintball. If you're playing at like in a forest or some shit, and you're not getting shot from really close up, the best thing you can do is just nothing, because it's hot. It's a very high temperature. Look at that. That's awesome. That's pretty dang cool. I still would recommend these over those, though. They don't protect the side of your hands, but, you know, it's better than nothing, because you're going to be holding your AK properly. Now, if you do need a rig for something, go completely minimal. I don't know, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, chest rig. Like this. Like, or I got a special ammunition to my comrades. I'm the distributor of the high cap magazines. I carry 80% of the ammunition that I have purchased in total on me at all times. It's one of those. BBs don't hurt, man. Don't be a puss. Even at close range. I mean, they sting. You know, they feel like impacts. It feels like bee stings or wasp stings, but both of those things are nothing. They're like getting poked with a stick really hard. Like that is it. The only difference is that with bee stings and wasp stings and airsoft BBs, it just hurts like for a bit. They're not really that good, but And yes, I know. Or it's M4 goes with all this stuff. It looks good because it's straight, and this is straight, and this is straight, and this is straight. Look up Rust for a chest rig. It's the same, man. It's all the same. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter, man. It all looks good. Check that out. Look at me. I'm the IED team, even though it's just really cold. IED team. I don't know what you call that. EOD team. You know they aren't. For sidearms, guess what? With, bam. This is an AEP, it's electric. It shoots 200 feet per second with a .2 gram BB. That is exactly what you need because, this achieves about 100 feet of range. That's about as good as you're going to get with a gas gun, and if you don't get as good as that with an AEP or something, it doesn't matter. Like 100 feet is all you need for a pistol, because past 100 feet you should be using your rifle, right? Right? Within 100 feet, you should still be using your rifle. It just hurt like hell, but for an AEP, man, what you do, it's just close range, man. You're not going to be shooting at people from like 40, 50 feet away with this thing. You probably aren't. You're probably going to be using your rifle. Okay? This is for extra close quarters, and this is better than a gas gun because, one, you don't have to pay for gas. So you know what? You could expend a lot of ammo with this thing, a lot more than you would with a gas gun. I mean, a gas gun, you're kind of incentivized to shoot the shit out of it because it's really bad to keep gas in your magazines. Yeah, gas guns are basically self-destruct if you have them loaded for too long. Isn't that hilarious? It happens to all guns because not really all guns. It happens to all magazines, but gas gun magazines cost $50, while these things cost about $8. The 30-round magazines. Yeah, these have 30-round magazines and full auto. Now, this isn't like, oh, you got to get a Glock. You can get an M9. You can get a 1911. It's a fat 1911. It doesn't look like it. It's a SEMA CM123. It's a little bit chunky. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can tell. Let me show you. There it goes. There's the chunk. There it is. It looks really weird. Look at it's fucking weird, dude. It's so weird. And there's a CM125 with rail. The CM125 is a USB. It's probably the most kick-ass one that they have right now. They have an M9, CM126. 127 is this weird anti-Glock thing. I don't know what gun this is modeled after. It's probably a brand new one. It looks like a brand new one to me. Whatever. CM122, which is their fat P226. The CM121, which, drumroll, Desert Eagle. CM128, which is not in stores yet, is a high kappa. Now, I'm unsure if this exists. Is there a CM129? I have to see a SEMA CM129. I would like, because they had a 128, and I literally just looked it up just like this. It was probably even in a video as well, but I just looked up SEMA CM128 and the high kappa came up. But yeah, the high kappa has the highest magazine capacity out of all of them. It's a 36 round mag. I highly recommend either the Glock or it's whatever the fuck you want, man. I don't care. It's whatever. The Glock is the most versatile out of all of them because I guess the rails, but I hate how Glocks look. I just hate them. This is probably the SEMA CM127 then, if the rail fits on it, which I have no idea if it does. And also, you might be like regretting your purchase of the SEMA AK because this exists, but the entire thing, this whole gun is inferior. One, it weighs 9 pounds. Two, folding stocks, if you can get them, are superior to crane stocks because if you're gonna do close range shit, you're not gonna want a stock, okay? Because you can fit this shit around corners very well when you have the stock all folded up. Because you can put the gun to your body, and you can guess as to why that's better. So yeah, the sights, these are peephole sights, not peephole. These are peephole sights. They're harder to aim down than AK sights, which are pistol sights. So it's got the one thing, the other thing over here, and the thing in the front. This one is it's a circle and it's this straight line. It's harder. Magazine capacity is less, and hop up is not as good. The gearbox is not indestructible like it is on an AK. It's not really indestructible on any gun. It will break eventually, but this is like it'll break within 15 years. This will break like within 2 to 3 years. Okay, and that's like 2 to 3 years of average use. So if you use the shit out of it, it's gonna break probably within like 1 year. If you go to games, if you go to one game every 14 days, this will probably die within 2 years. Okay. That and modifying these things is a pain in the ass. So you can't upgrade it. It's a piece of shit as it is, and it's gonna be a piece of shit when you do shit to it. This literally is a better sniper rifle than that, because barrel length doesn't matter. It's actually counterproductive barrel length, because you could do the jewel creep thing. Look up jewel creep. You'll see some weird projects on the airsoft forums. Yeah. There's some guy who got 390 feet per second of the .2 gram BB, and then he stuck .40s in it, and it got 400 feet per second out of it. If you don't understand how insane that is, let me show you a joule chart. Okay, so 390 with the .2 is 1.41 joules. Let's go up. This is 0.43, 0.38. It's in this area. It's about 2.8 joules. That is twice the amount of energy. This range is enough to penetrate skin. This would go directly into your skin, and you will need to go to the doctor to take it out. That is not fun. That guy's gun was pretty awesome. That wasn't even with a full power spring. If you're to maximize jewel creep, you could be going about 600 feet per second to 0.43 or 0.88. That's about twice as much as this. So whatever 8 plus 8 is, which is 16, it's more than 16 joules, which is probably classified as a firearm or an air gun. Yeah, you can kill people with airsoft guns, believe it or not. It's just that they'd break. The airsoft guns would self-destruct while being ridiculously expensive. No biggie. Modifications are not modifications. You don't need to hook shit up to your gun, like to make it look cool and shit. Like, oh, I got a U-Tech on here. Ooh, it's an $100 U-Tech. It's silly. It's very silly because one, it doesn't make your gun look cooler when you hook a U-Tech up to it. You know why? This is wrong. You know why it's wrong? You have to put a protector on here. You have to put a lens protector on there. This is wrong as well. There needs to be a lens protector on this. This is a real scope though, so that's I don't know. This is wrong as well. Lens protector. You have like lasers and shit on there. It's just extra weight, man. You're not gonna use it. Useless. Now I know I've told a bunch of people this, and the people I linked this video to already know this, but this is for people who stumble across the video. Heavier BBs are great. And I'll explain this to you via this link. Okay. Here you go. Okay. I'll tell you when to pause the video. 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 Okay, now you can probably pause here and read this, but basically check this out. This is with the 0.2 gram BU, it's the 0.25. Basically, at exactly 60 feet, exactly 60 feet, I'm sorry. They are the same velocity, okay? The same velocity, which is exactly this much. There's a chart on my computer that has the numbers this low, but take a look at this. Now it's a higher velocity than it. And that explains the time to target being basically identical. If you were to read these, they're the same. Okay, it's just the same until you reach. I'm sorry for saying again. I'm so sorry. Uh, fuck. Yes. Feet. Okay, feet. So 1.6 seconds to reach 199.2 feet. 200.31. It's 0.20 seconds. I'm sorry. 1.8. So the time to target is actually shorter with a 0.25 gram BB to reach the maximum range of an airsoft gun, which is widely regarded to be 200 feet. 1.6 for the heavier BB. Okay, 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1 for whatever the fuck these are. 192. Let's get the closest number to that. That 192 is 1.5. Where is it? 192, 192, 1.7. 1.6 to reach 187. 104. Yeah, see, that's why the time to target is the same. It just is, unless you're at a closer range. And oh no, I broke something. Oh, I did break something. I did not. It just sucked. Okay. So yeah, that, and the reason why you should use heavier BBs is because not only are they more accurate, but they retain a lot more energy and velocity apparently. When you have a heavier BB in your gun, the velocity, yes, velocity times a second, will basically be, fuck, I said again. The velocity will be higher at a longer range, as you can see. Look at this. It would be higher at a longer range. Heavier BBs are harder to dodge than lighter BBs, if you didn't know that. And not only that, but if they're traveling the same speed, which they aren't, they're traveling at a higher velocity, they basically, retain a lot more energy because their inertia is stored in weight. Yeah, their inertia is stored. More of their inertia is stored in weight than velocity, as they both come out of the barrel at relatively the same velocity, right? So what happens is people actually feel the hit past 150 feet. This is the minimum amount of whatchamacallit. This right here. This is the minimal amount of joules at 100. Oh fuck! This is velocity. It is probably going to be around like here. This is it, because they get stable. They stabilize. So this like this hikes up. Everything else would be like this, and like this, and like that. But just around this FPS, which is where it will stabilize at this distance, that's good. That's like the BB is falling, by the way, but yeah, take a look at that. That's the chart for this. It's relatively the same for 150 feet. It's slightly, is it faster? 150 feet, 147 is one second. 1 second. 150.61 is 1.1 seconds. So to 150 feet, the 0.2 takes more time. 0.1 second, 1/10 of a second more. Isn't that interesting, huh? Takes more time, a little bit. Another fun fact, because you're going to be shooting more accurately, you'll have a lower round count, which means you can use less ammunition. I mean, you can carry less ammunition. Now, what I did is for a whole day, an entire day of game. I mean like 10 hours. I would bring one AK high cap, and because my gun was accurate enough, as in like I would get 3 to 4 inch groups. If I were to like hold my gun down like with like a clamp, I would get like 2-inch groups at 200 feet with my .28 gram BBs. So I would just go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I thought that was pretty cool. You don't need to just fucking hose people down. You don't need to do that. That, and the BBs hurt a lot more at closer range. you can guess why they hurt a lot more. You really can. You can guess. You can guess why they hurt a lot more. Or no, really, you can guess why they hurt a lot more. Look at this. Look at this shit. At 100 feet. Let me show you the difference. So if they're going at the same FPS, it's about 25 percent more kinetic energy, because that's how much extra weight it has. So I'm gonna say at around 150 feet, they are. That's a dumb estimation. The muzzle velocity for all of these is 278.87 FPS. It's gonna drop off quite a bit. So I'm gonna say probably. Let's see, what is it? What is the velocity? Meters a second. Feet. FPS. Okay. 0.25 at 150. 247. It's about 100 FPS. So it's about 150 FPS for this. So let's say you're going to shoot 400 feet per second, which is, believe it or not, about twice as much energy. That's at 7 plus 7 is 14. It's over twice as much energy. So it's about 150 feet per second. So what is that number? It's the equivalent of 170 feet per second. Now, if you know what that is, get a spring pistol from Walmart and put a .2 gram BB in it. Those things shoot somewhere between 170 to 200 feet per second with one of those. That's a lot of joules. That's about like 0.4. That stings. So they're gonna call their hits. All right. That's another thing. You're going to conserve more ammunition because cheaters do not like heavy BBs. They terrify them. While they're going out there, heavy BBs, they really like create audible impacts, which really spooks people. If you ever heard the sound of .25s or .28s against plywood, it's very satisfying for you, because you could hear it from across the field. It's loud as shit. And keep in mind, they're very close up to it. You're like, oh, what's going on? But believe it or not, airsoft BBs don't hurt. So if you were to throw one, just throwing a BB against a plywood is already loud as shit. So it's just the plywood that's doing it. But it's fucking hilarious to see the reaction on those kids' faces when they do. If you can see their faces, if they don't have like eye pro, they're like, oh no, you know. Unless they've been there for a while and just don't give a shit, like me. Okay, next subject, batteries. You don't understand this. I am not going to understand. You're not going to understand this. I don't understand this. But arcing, it correlates with amperage, and amperage is the total amp output of your battery. That is the direct that is the thing that makes your gun shoot. That is the amperage from your battery. It's not the voltage or this or that or that or this. It's, you factor all of that shit in. Like you get like it's like a 30C LiPo. That's the current. There's a word for it that had to do with discharge rate, but this C is a discharge rate, and you have to like calculate the size of the battery, what kind of battery it is, if it's 1A or 2A, if it's a sub C NIM or some shit, and basically it adds up to amperage, and your motor is like a 7.4, it's a 9.6, same thing, and it runs 20 rounds per second generally. If you're not doing 400 FPS, if you're doing 400 FPS and it's 20 RPS, you probably have a JG Blue, which is a kick-ass motor. It's a very kick-ass motor. Basically, the kind of battery that you want is an 8.4 volt NIM, and this is another thing that I've already told people that I've linked this video to. So you could just end the video right now if you heard this before from me. Basically, your contacts get arcing, as in like the electrical arcs, and arcing correlates with voltage, right? if you minimize the amount of amperage your gun gets, that you'll minimize the amount of contact cleaning you'll have to do. And most people don't clean their contacts, so it's really gonna prolong the life of your gun if you do that. Okay. If you're gonna do some crazy shit, please buy a MOSFET, like a car MOSFET. Like just Google search car MOSFET for sale, so you can like guarantee what it is. You can just go here and you go low to high, and I don't know. You look up how to do this shit. I don't know how to do this. You could probably do this. It's probably gonna cost you like 10 bucks maybe. This stuff, 55 volts, 3.8 amps. You gotta figure it out. I say go to 40, 50 amps maximum. There we go. This is a good one. Figure out how to do this shit and do it. Dunsky. The proper method of searching out like your guns and stuff is to look at internal reviews of airsoft guns, okay? And you have to have a certain knowledge of stuff. And by that I mean knowing which materials are better and what quality control matters and which one doesn't. Currently, your best gun, the best gun you could currently buy is a SEMA. Just of any sort, just a SEMA. And that is because, one, they have M14s, which are cheap as fuck. They're like 70 bucks. It's not like 70 bucks, but like 93 if you calculate shipping on e-Vike. So if they're pieces of shit, it doesn't matter. You get an M14 for that much. You're not going to find an M14 for that much anywhere. They make the best AKs that there are. I mean, you could probably look at D-Boys and be like, oh, it's pretty cool. But this is just a D-Boys with better internals and like slightly not as good externals. You know? I'll take that risk. My gun shoots 460 out of the box. Your D-Boy shoots 400. I don't have to fuck with my AK. I don't have to buy a brand new spring for it. Because when your gun shoots 460 out of the box, oh, that's another thing. If your gun shoots really hot out of the box, you just need to put a whole, like, you need to put like good 2,000, 3,000 BBs through it. And that's not to say like you have to waste them. But I recommend you do is you stick a cloth in front of a cardboard box. Not a cloth, like a towel. And then you shoot the towel, and basically the BBs bounce off the towel. They can't impact anything because they're going to get fucked a little bit. And then they fall directly into a clean box. And yeah, you just put enough of them through there. And then you'll probably pass a chrono if you use heavy BBs. Consult this chart though. Please do not break 1 point. Don't break 1.8 joules. Just don't. It's not fun. That's bad. That stinks like hell. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think these limits are dumb, but people don't like to get eye protection that's good. Okay, they're lazy fucking idiots. They don't know what they're doing, and they're like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm just gonna get it. And they just do, and someone shoots it out, and they shit their pants because they're like, oh no, I almost got blinded. I gotta go spend $300. And they spend $300, and alright, bro, it's not like $300. It's more like $70 to $100. And I think that's hilarious too, simply because there is better rated iPro for like $8. iPro, the military uses that can protect against fucking mortar shrapnel and 22 caliber bullets at 1,200 feet per second for $8. Okay? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Now, I'm asking a question. Do you fucking understand this? Airsoft goggles are the biggest scam I've ever seen. Like, of all time. That is, if there ever was a reason for anti-Semitism, that would probably be it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Jewish bankers are a reason for anti-Semitism. But hey, whatever floats your boat, man. I don't really give a shit. I'm no anti-Semite. This isn't any virtue signaling either, though. I I don't like anyone actually. I don't like Hispanics. I don't like blacks. I don't like whites. I don't like Jews. I don't like the Irish. I hate everyone. I hate Brazilians even though I'm Brazilian. Fuck everyone, man. They all suck. Ugh. Here's something that no one will ever teach you ever. You'll probably you won't make this mistake. I'm 100% sure you won't. It's more, you're gonna be spending more than $15 on something, so there's no way you can make a mistake as awful as this. Some guns use different types of batteries, like airsoft guns. Basically, AKs that have folding stocks use a stick type NIM. Stick type NIM battery. Looks like a stick, like a big old stick. M4s with crane stocks use nunchuck batteries. Now AKs with hollowed out stocks, okay? Like not D-Boys AKs, not the D-Boys RKO 6WS. Those don't have hollowed out stocks. Seam AKs do. So they use brick type batteries. Battery. Shit. This is probably the most common thing you've ever seen. Yeah, one of these things. This is what it looks like. That's your 9.6. That's your 8.4. That's what you should be using. That's just ridiculously expensive. Like I wonder why it's ridiculously expensive. It's about like 3 times the capacity of the average battery that you use. More than 3 times actually. 3 times would be 3,600. Stock batteries are 1,000 and 1,200 mAh. I say get a 1,100 mAh. Those are awesome. If problems arise in your gun, send me an email. I'm at username 101110 8 at gmail.com. Username is actually included in like the thing. Like that's the mail too. If you're doing mail too, it'd be username, no spaces, nothing in between. 101110 8 at gmail.com. Okay? If you do like some weird script or something, that's what it would be. So you just send me a fucking email. I'll read that shit. And I will respond to your shit. I will help you out with stuff. Just tell me what your problem is. Or if you need help deciding on something, just send me shit. I'll help you out. Alright? Or maybe I'll just get really lazy and like point you to something that I wrote down like 3 years ago or something that covers it. And I'll be like, line 218, page 74. It's not going to be that ridiculous. It's probably going to... it's probably enough to write an essay, though. But, yeah. Also, another thing. Batteries. The best battery you can get is a nickel metal hydride battery. And that is because battery chargers they kind of suck, okay? They just suck. They have shitty quality control. And for some strange reason... Not for some strange reason. For an actual reason. Lithium polymer batteries have this system in it that kills the battery if you overcharge them. Now, this is very important. A lot of chargers overcharge their batteries, okay? So, you would, okay? I'm not saying would you? No, you would rather have this happen. You would rather have your battery warm up slightly than have it fucking die. Okay, have $20 down the drain. Just burn a $20 bill. You would not like that to happen, would you? Okay? Now, what some people like to say is, oh, you get performance out of LiPo. Well, fuck you. Do you know how to clean a contact? Do you know how to open your gun up and have the anti-reversal latch pop out and then stick the anti-reversal latch back in? If you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you a video of this. Airsoft, how to... Basically, this is the hardest thing to do in all of the gearbox. This little fucker.
Hello, welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Tech Tips.
This little fucker completely fucks up your day if you don't have a neodymium magnet in your gun. You need to buy a neodymium
We're working on this
magnet.
gearbox shell. We've been getting ready to put it back together, and then once we put the anti-reversal,
This shit pops out all the time. You open it up, that's the first thing that pops out. Like 90% of guns. Okay.
it's kind of not the best solution in my opinion because there is a better one.
Okay, this little
Kind
fucker.
of magnet, and they'd rather not have to go out and buy another new tool that they're going to have to use protecting. So my solution is quite simple. It involves a pair of pliers and the trigger and the anti-reversal spring. So all I do is I take this spring and I bend it upward just like that. Now what this does is it helps to push down on the gearbox shell wall that it's pushed up against. So as it's doing this, it's pushing down on the anti-reversal edge, keeping it down just a little bit more so that it can actually stay.
That's retarded. You use a magnet. I'm sorry. You just use a magnet. But yeah. If you're gonna open your gearbox up, you're gonna need to fuck with this thing. And if you're not fucking with this thing, you're also fucking with the trigger assembly. Airsoft. How to do the AK trigger assembly. Now this video, it is not an accurate representation of it. I want you to see what it looks like. It's a pain in the ass to master how to do this. These guys do this on a whim because they just don't give a fuck. I think this was Echo 1 tech support.
Hey guys.
Let me show you.
But it's simple to think about. I'm just gonna hold right here. You can see it's held in place. In fact, you can hold it upside down. You have like axle, and spring. This is hold this spring. Now, this.
God, where's this fucking part?
This side.
I'll just show you the whole
Hey
video.
guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to deal with the danger zone of the version 3 trigger. Yes, it is different, but it's the same concept as version 2, but a lot of you guys are scared of it because it is different looking. So let's first look at the parts. This is the trigger
I hate
contact
this
spring.
shit.
This is the trigger contact and sliding contact. All it does is slide back and forth
I fucking hate YouTube, man.
in here, like so.
I fucking hate YouTube so much.
And if the contacts are too wide, you're not going to get power. Or on some older models, the contacts aren't touching.
And it fucking skips the video. It fucking skips it. Well, whatever. It's like 3 parts and you have to stick it in there in a weird way and it sucks. Okay? It sucks. I've done it before. I know how to do it basically perfectly. But it took me a whole 3 months to master it. It wasn't like, why I just sitting there. Like, I just like get really frustrated and I just come back to it 3 months later. I know it's probably just me. But, yeah. I actually have really good motor skills, so it kind of balances out. You'd probably get just as frustrated as me, simply because you're a klutz and I'm not. I got an IQ test, okay? I got an IQ test. The motor skills I got was 120. This isn't like, oh, tumble back. No, it was fucking 120, okay? I'm a little bit of a ninja. End of story. I'm coordinated. This isn't like, oh, I'm very smart. No, I'm just good with my hands, and that's it. So yeah, that's the thing. We don't want to do this. So it's either lipo, and you have to learn how to tech, or you have to buy a MOSFET and like wire shit, and learn how to tech. You still got to clean the contacts because there's still amps going to it. I don't even know how MOSFETs work. I'm almost convinced that MOSFETs don't do anything, but they put them in cars, so they got to do something. But those are pretty small MOSFETs, like very small MOSFETs. So I don't know, man. Sticking red dots on there. Go ahead, do it. I don't care, idiot. There are upsides, there are downsides to it. One of the upsides is parallaxing. If you don't know what parallaxing is, you can guess what it is. It's the whole reason red dots are cool. It's the whole reason why red dots are an actual thing. Like that's the thing why people use red dots for. It's when you move your head to the side, and the red dot stays on target. You move your head up, it stays on target, at least mostly. Okay, you want to maximize parallaxing, and basically, yeah, that's what works. But they can also get shot out. They're crap. Unless you get them from a good site. If you get it from an airsoft website, they're crap. If you don't get them from an airsoft website and get it from a legitimate website, like a real like gun red dot, those are kick ass. Get one of those. Scopes, stupid. No, it's just stupid unless you're doing a DMR or a sniper rifle, and you know how to do a sniper rifle, which is dumb. You don't need to learn how to use a bolt action sniper rifle. Not learn how to use it. You don't need to figure out how to like open it up and fix it. You just get a DMR, designated marksman rifle, already shoots at the maximum range an airsoft gun can shoot at. You just need 450 feet per second and do some shit to it. Bam, 300 feet. It's got semi-auto, man. It does make a difference. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference between. I am so fucking tired of fucking up my words. I hit 2. The thing that pauses the recording is F2, and I hit 2 instead. God damn it. Yeah, I was gonna say something. Yeah, it's got semi-auto. Your bolt action is bolt action. You're gonna get your ass kicked because it's bolt action. I mean, sure, you probably get better range because the higher FPS, but not really a range. It's more like your projectiles are faster. You're not really gonna be fighting people at 350 feet because that's the maximum range of an airsoft gun, and like DMRs can hit 330 feet. So it's probably gonna be a lot more accurate though because of the higher FPS, because the shit's gonna be cutting through the air. So